can we go see it?
No, they said that they would be. He's going out of town. His mom's got health issues, so they're going out of town from there to Atlanta to see the doctor. So he said Wednesday would be a good day to call him back and try to get him locked up, and then from there, I'll check and see when we can go see it. But I'm trying to get him locked up. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, because dude, I could buy that property unless it's in some kind of terrible shape.
No, it's not.
I would say somebody could buy that property at least in the 145. So I mean, if I'm around 145, I know people buy higher than me. So I'd imagine you could sell the property at least 160, maybe in the 160s, maybe close to 170.
But what
Yeah,
he did
man,
though,
lock that up.
I'm gonna see if I can lock it up.
What's
What
that?
he did? I was like, I said, are these pictures on? This is a question I ask all the time. Are these pictures online a good, uh, accurate depiction of the property? He said, hold on, what website are you looking up? He started typing up the website. And I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? He pulled up the Zillow estimate. So I'm like, so I don't know. He's a smart, he seems like a smart guy. So we'll see if he's still holding fast at that 140. You got to understand, sellers are very creative with how they sidestep stuff, how they try to buy themselves more time and stuff like that. So he might be like,
Yeah.
oh, stuff, and that might be true. However, he's like, all right, let me rethink this price or whatever. So come back. Hey, actually, man, we had a seller that was on the line. He was ready to. He was on number 9. He was on the 9 count, and then what happened was we swapped out. I wasn't available, and the seller had messaged Rich. Had messaged Richard, hey, I'm ready to go right now. Call me so we can go ahead and do this. And Richard was just like, I wasn't available. So Richard was like, let me get Byron. And by switching them out, the sellers were off. And so, the sellers were put off by that. And they've been giving us excuse after excuse ever since. Hey, I got to do this. Hey, I got to do that. Dude, you was ready to sign. You know what I mean? You was ready to go.
Yeah.
So what do you mean all of this stuff that you got to do that you know what I mean? So lock them up. Start locking them up on that first call too, because we say time kills all deals, but oh man, I gotta reach out to that lady. But I mean, time can put a deal together too. So, such an
Yeah.
FYI.
But it usually keeps.
If you don't follow up, then yeah. If you're not on your follow up, then
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. But that's kind of how we got this deal today, though, because I mean, I don't know, just constantly reaching out to her and just what happened? Oh, you reached out to her, Rich reached out to her, Coach reached out to her. I think the constant reaching out and following up because somebody could be at one price today. You never know what's happening to these people next week or 2 weeks from now. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked to that lady today that you was talking about. You said back in March, she sound bold and mighty. You know what I'm saying? Let that thing get down the line. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you gotta make sure you're following up with people, man. And we all got a bunch of leads we could be following up on. My first deal was a follow up. Second deal was a follow up. Most of the deals I ever done was a follow up. So that's one thing you can't lose sight on is the follow up. Keep following up with people. Keep reaching out. You know, and reaching out. Call them. Call people. When we're talking about talking to people, we're talking about getting on the phone. That's your number one goal. Like if you get on the phone, pick up the phone and call people. You know what I'm saying? If by chance you cannot get them on the phone, option number 2 is to text them.
Yeah.
That's option number 2. The number one thing you want to do is get them on the phone. voice-to-voice conversation. Get them on the phone. That's number one. If you can text them, you need to text to get them on the phone. You gotta get them on the phone. You just got to get on the phone. So when we talking about reaching out to people, talking to people, we talking about getting on the phone. We ain't talking about texting people. We ain't talking about emailing people. Although those things are good, you want to do those things, but the number one goal is to get them on the phone. That's when you get to the closing time. You know what I'm saying? Getting honestly, on the phone is closing time.
And I think we all have. I know Byron has, but closing people over text. But ultimately, it's about communication. Contact equal contract, but we say contact equal contract, but the more solid contacts that you make equal contracts. You see what I'm saying? So it's about effective communication. It's about direct and clear communication. So you can text, you can email, but the best way to do it is the phone. Like, for example, even like I got working with this attorney, and I'm sure they would like to email back and forth so that way that they have some sort of written record of everything. But I got to call you. There's no miscommunication. There's no misunderstanding. I'm not typing it and retyping it, trying to figure out how to reword it and get the wording right. Did I spell that right? I'm not even good at spelling anyway. I think I'm dyslexic. We should probably put a check in for that. But verbally communicating, we can articulate ourselves clear. Hey, I just got a question. And some questions is not closed-ended. Some questions are very abstract by their nature. And they need to be for you to get to the point of it. Like, for example, we had a seller. Richard had a seller lead, and they're from Thailand. I think it's Taiwanese. I think they're Taiwanese, but they're from Thailand. The daughter is communicating for the mom. Now we can text, but that's going to get lost in communication. It was already too many steps between us and between her and the mom, because the mom speaks no English almost, like very, very minimal, like barely can say hello. So if we were to try to text, that's one thing. It already is going to limit us. The best thing we can do is get on the phone and have a verbal translator. My point is, put little amount of distance between you and that person as possible. As a matter of fact, I still believe firmly that actually meeting a person face to face is the best way. See what I'm saying? Like the best way. If I wanted to say, hey, Byron, man, I really appreciate you. Dude, you come a long way. I've watched it on YouTube, but you've done a lot. That's nice. And it's true. And I mean that. But if I was there with him in person and I was telling him this, I could say, hey, Byron, dude, like, I really appreciate what you've done, like a lot. It resonates a lot more. Like, dang, this person really sitting in front of my face telling me that. If I text him that, that's cool. And it still hits. But my point is, you don't want the least amount of things between you and that person as possible will make your communication that clear. So that's just a basic principle. And so when it comes to this, you got to understand in this business, if you have to reach out, make it a call first. You have to call. Now, if a seller texts you, then text him. Because that can mean, hey, I'm at work, so I'm busy. Text me, I want to communicate. There have been plenty of PPL leads that come in, and we'll call them, and then when we text them, they'll start texting us back. And then I'm like, okay, this person just likes text communication. So I'm going to text them and get as much information as I can. Still set up the call, but get as much text as you can out of them. And they'll give you a lot of information. So respect what a person's life is set up and what they need. But at the end of the day, clear communication. Because text message doesn't convey emotion. Text message doesn't convey cadences and how I say this and that. Text message can't get that across. When we got on the phone with that seller earlier, Byron, and it was, again, just for y'all who don't understand, it was a seller who came into Byron's PPL account months ago, like months ago. He was talking, I need this for the property, and this is the price. And I'm like, lady, you're obviously, okay, you're crazy. I tried to talk to her, it didn't work. So she came back in and went to Richard's account. And so I'm talking to her. I was like, hold on, didn't we talk before? I think we talked before, yada, yada, yada. But here's the thing. Her tone in the first call was night and day from her tone today. Her tone today felt like she was worn out, like what we'd imagine a seller who's trying to sell a property overpriced, and they're just like exhausted with this process. I wouldn't have been able to notice that via text message. And I wouldn't have been able to mirror that tonality via text message. That tells me a lot. So going into the negotiation, I'm a lot more prepared. I know you're exhausted.
Yeah.
I know because I communicated. So it's not even just about what you give. You get a lot more when you pick up that phone to call people.
And then you could press that pain point. Press that little pain right there. Is that what a pain is right there? You know, that allow you to press on. But the lady earlier, dude, that we locked up, you was on the phone with her. She told you verbatim, I cannot do 55. She said that.
Yeah.
And what'd she do? Side for 55.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing, too. It's like, that is a good, excellent point. It's like
if you'd have told that during text, if you'd have said that during text, you would have just, I don't think you would have overcame it. But because you was talking to her on the phone, I don't know how you even did that. It's like, now you in it's a football game, and it's like, how did he even get through there?
Marshawn, how did that happen? How he keep going?
Yeah.
But you know what it was? Is I learned this from Grant Cardone. Just because a person say no, ask again. Like sometimes you don't have to be clever. You don't have to have no finesse, no skill, no gift of gab. Just ask the exact same thing more than one time on that call. Don't just press it and then when they say no, ask them again. Don't be annoying when you with your persistence, right? Because that's just as bad as not persisting. It's being annoying with your persistence. But back off of it, like, okay, no, absolutely. Talk about something else and come back and say, well, what if we could do this? If you notice, and I should probably put that call up and give people some feedback, but
I don't know how you did that.
I said the same thing. I was just like, well, I legitimately said the same thing, just restated the entire thing. She said, I can't do this. I was like, well, if we could do this and this and this, can we do the 55? No, I absolutely can't. I understand. But what if we could come in and we could do this and we can do this and this? Would you be opposed to moving forward at 55? Now I got to think about it. Okay. What do we
need? A couple of days.
She said she needed a couple of days. And then I said, well, what do we need to do to make it work? Okay, I'll do the 55. I said, okay. Okay.
Dude, you ever see one of the videos where the running back wrapped up? It's like 5 people got him wrapped up. And next thing you know, he spit out of it. All the people just fall to the side. It was like, dude, you was toast. She said she can't do it. She said give her days. I can't let it go. I done went from 72,000 to 65,000. Now you want me to come down to 55? I just can't let it go like that. Dude, man, I was shocked.
And look, that was all premeditated too, by the way. That was actually Richard's idea. Just so you know, I had called that seller right away and I sent it to Richard because I was like, is this Richard's lead? Is that Richard's lead? Because it came from property leads. And then only you, Richard, and Coach are the only ones. But it was Coach's lead. So I sent it to him and I called her and I had a conversation with her like in the middle of the night. She's like a night owl. Then the next day, Richard called me back and was like, hey, do you want me to call this lady and see if I could say that he can't, like he said all of that. He was like, hey, see if I can tell her a price. And do you think that would be a good idea? Because I text her and she said this and that and this and that. I was like, yeah, man. He said, do you want me to, within the bounds of respects to her, just seeing what she would tell him and stuff like that. And so he was just trying to see how low he could get her, just basically following up. But he didn't say he was working with me, he didn't say that he was working with me. And so by the time Coach had reached out to her, technically 2 people had reached out to her. She was asking 70-ish, 70. 2 people had reached out to her and said we anywhere from 30 to 50,000. That reset it. So by the time Coach had reached out, yeah, she was ready to go at that 55 because now she's getting. I'm going to give y'all this little pro tip. Some sellers, when they get on the phone, they know comps, they know all of that stuff. Some sellers, they have no idea what their property is worth. They're hoping to get offers on the property. They go to Zillow and look at this estimate, and then they go get offers on the property, and they let the property, the offers tell them what it's worth. And so that's when you get those sellers who are holding out, and you could tell them a really good price, the best cash offer. And that seller won't believe it because he think you trying to get one over on them. And it's not until the market responds. Hello?
Yeah. Oh.
Uh-oh.
This dude. What, Lee came in?
Nah, you called me.
It must be one of my kids, dude.
I think one of your kids called me before, by the way. I was like, hello.
Them kids, man, they're messing around.
But they're waiting, and you could give them the best cash offer that they're going to get. You're not trying to shortchange them. A lot of sellers will be like, "Oh, you're trying to lowball." You're not even lowballing them. You're just giving them the best cash offer that they will get, and they're like waiting on somebody to come in and say they don't know if you're taking advantage of them or not. And so that highlights 2 important factors. One, they'll either need the rest of everybody to call in and give them real numbers, or that's what real estate agents will do to prey on these people and be like, I know you just want to hear a high number. I don't know if I can actually get that, but I know you just want to hear a high number. And so they'll play on that. But what we did was the opposite. We just set her expectations properly. Richard said 30. I said 40 to 50. So by the time Coach came in, Coach was able to get her. Coach was the one who pulled her down off that 70 to 55 or whatever. Yeah. And so that's when she was still back at that, wherever I need this, no, she was at 65. Coach got her to 65 is where he got her to. And that's what
I think she told him 55. And then when she was on the phone with you, she tried to pull it back up to the 65. Because he told me last night, because we were sitting on the line, he told me last night that she had came down to 55. And then she tried to get you to come on back up to 65. And
you said he got her to 55. But I'm telling you, I had originally said we probably be anywhere between 40 to 50. And she was like, I need 70. I need to think about that. And it was Richard's thinking that was like, well, let me should we reach out? Because I just accidentally sent the lead to him. So yeah, I think the combination of that is really setting the seller's expectation so that they know. Really, we just trying to see what information we can, what she really needs to do. Because I've had sellers, not listen, and then they go to the real estate agent, and then they end up coming right back to us. Back to it.
The prodigal seller.
Prodigal son. Got to run out of ammo lately. Yeah. Hold on, look at Jay. Click on Jay's comment above that one, man, if you can, please.
Dude, that's an awesome property. Showing up dirty, dude.
Which one? Oh, I haven't seen those pictures, man.
Dude, I gotta see the pictures. That thing is third day.
Yeah.
Sellers live and breathe playing hardball.
Sellers live and breathe playing hardball. Yeah. But listen, that's just something, and I was telling Richard this too. Especially when you're new, or just at all levels of your journey in this, you notice certain patterns that ain't even patterns. That's just what you've experienced thus far. It's like a lot of times sellers do be playing hardball, but there'll be some sellers that are just downright not playing hardball. They just their situation. They have no equity in the property, or they just in such a messed up situation. That's something to consider. Sometimes there's that low hanging, the lay down deal. The seller just come to you, queued up, ready to go.
Yeah.
They come in.
I told Coach that this was a layup. It was just kind of a little bit of a contested layup. It's like it wasn't just a complete lay down, but still was kind of a lay down.
I mean, just
So
no, it wasn't no lay down. A lay down is a lay down. Like you gonna know a lay down is laying down.
But
I'm talking about no.
It wasn't no lay down, but this lady is kind of ready. No. This was a contested layup. You know what I'm saying? You got layup, but it ain't wide open. It's contested. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Certainly, it was.
This person had to pass to that person. That person had to make a good pass to this person, and this person had to make a contested layup. That's what it was.
This was a team.
A couple of passes. Yep. There you go. A couple of good passes. You know what I'm saying? They were moving the ball. Cordero got the ball going to the goal. Somebody coming to block it. He made a good contested layup. That's what this was. But it still was, you know. I've seen Cordero have to do a whole lot more to get somebody to sign some papers. I put it like that. I just see they have to pull some teeth, some shoulder teeth.
I had to pull my own teeth, is what it felt like. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about.
Yes.
Pure stressful, and so
the biggest thing with this lady was the technology. You know what I'm saying? Actually getting to sign actual paper.
Nah, I mean
that probably honestly, the biggest.
I wouldn't even call that a challenge, just because I know exactly what you're talking about. It was the most time-consuming or tedious thing, but I worked. I worked at a place called Asurion for what we did. That's legitimately what I would do for. That's all I did. That was the job where you would help basically older people and talk them through it over the phone. That's why I'm like, click here, or you gotta get creative. Take a picture of it and send it to me, or screenshot it and stuff like that. But Byron had to. I got so lost in persisting that Byron had the good idea to say, "Hey, let's just try it another way." And I'm like, "Let's just go harder this way," you know. So, stuff like that. But a couple of other things, man, that you know, with the Valdosta lead, she's got something going on. So Wednesday, man, a couple of other things, dude, that you know, we've been trying to wrestle with, dealing with trash real estate agents. Let's, you know, the real estate agents be trash. We got a property, again, the one I told you guys about, where we had the seller, he didn't believe us, and he went to some real estate agent, and now he's like, man, I should have never worked with that real estate agent, bro. Because he's from the islands. I forget which islands.
He's a snake.
he always like, black man. That agent, bro. I should have listened to you when you told me, black man. Because and I get it from the seller's perspective. They don't know that when we're coming in. Yeah, and I let them know. I'm never like, oh, let's try to sneak the fact that we're trying to make a profit by. Like, you got to get that out in the open. Like, that's got to be clear that that's what we're trying to do. It's just like when you go to Walmart and you buy groceries, you're not like, hey, are you going to make a profit off these apples that I'm about to buy? It's like that. Otherwise, there's no Walmart if they didn't get the apples for a lower price and then put them here for you. There's no Walmart if they didn't get the iPhone chargers at a discount at 25 cents per charger, and now you paying $15 per charger. There's no Walmart if that doesn't happen. So I'm not, but expressing that and establishing that up front helps going forward. Like, hey, just so you know, full disclosure, we are purchasing to make a profit. And if they're like, oh, I don't want to, then I'll be like, okay, I respect that decision. I just wanted you to let you know that that's what we was talking about. These are the terms we're talking on. We're trying to make a profit. We're trying to purchase the property with the intention of investing, so we can do this. But as long as we can get the property at a good price that makes sense as an investment, then from there we can offer this. Close at purchase the property as is. Close all cash whenever you want to. As soon as title work comes back, we can close whenever you want to. Take care of all the closing costs and the realtor fees. You don't have to worry about that. We're making this easy. That is value. But if that's not something you're looking for, then you got to go to a different store. Walmart don't got everything you need. Like Byron, when you can get toilet stuff, but when you have a solid golden toilet like Byron does, Walmart doesn't have the right cleaner for that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? So Byron has to go to a different place. I don't know, to get his cleaner for his toilet.
So Cordero, do you ever hope for passive income?
I did in like right as it was starting to take off in 2021, right after COVID, when the market just started to and then once it started to go up, we sold. I was partnering with somebody on that, and then once it went up, we sold it. We decided to sell it, and we moved forward. But currently now, my personal plan is to go completely, I guess you could say, active income, just real estate transactions until I get multifamily. I want to go into commercial. That's the end goal. I want to buy multifamily apartment complexes in desirable areas. I heard this from Grant Cardone when he describes like what it's like to own a single family real estate. And also my real estate professor, as I was getting my realtor license, she manages properties, and so she was giving us you don't make money having a single family. I mean, you do, but it's not for real. It's the headache to the amount of money on one door ain't worth it. If you're gonna do it, you might as well go big. You might as well, if you're gonna own property for passive income, it needs to be a large multifamily, a large commercial, maybe a shopping center or something like that, where the amount of work you put, because it's the same. It's actually the same amount. If you get a large, let's say wherever Walmart, the Dollar Tree, Target, Publix, all of them are in one shopping center. You own that. You got like a couple tenants, 4 or 5 tenants, but these tenants are businesses that won't be like, hey man, I'm sorry, I had to buy my school clothes for my kids. I ain't got it. You ain't got to deal with that with Target. You see what I'm saying? So that's why McDonald's is what it is, because it's a real estate business. They literally get the business model, hand it to you. You own that. That's yours. But you lease out the building. That's what McDonald's is. And so I would rather do multifamily larger. That's just kind of been my take on it. And I'm staying away from single family rentals or passive income. Until I can get to that platform, that commercial. Mr. Byron Scott, how about you? He's far richer and wealthier than I am, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Stop. The only person rich up in here is Mr. Rich. Nah, dude. I mean, I had multiple rentals, and I'm like, man, I want to put everything in one place. So whether it's multifamily, whether it's mobile homes, whatever it's going to be, storage units, I just want it in one spot. This is my big thing. I want it in one spot. And like you said, too, you go through the same stuff, the same processes, whether it's big or small. And Grant Cardone said this too. It's like, it's harder to stay small than to go big. There's a book written by Benjamin something dude wrote Who Not How.
Who Not How?
Who wrote Who Not How? Was that Benjamin something?
It was, but no, it was actually 2 people wrote it. In the spirit of the book, but
one dude, Benjamin, I think. But anyways, he wrote a book.
Benjamin Hardy,
Dr. Hardy,
and Dan Sullivan.
Ben Franklin. Come on, Jaden. Ben Hardy. He said he got a book called 2X is harder than 10X. It's harder to stay small. it's harder to stay small, right? It's easier to go big. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm looking at, man. Is trying to go big. Um, you know, I think it will make a lot of stuff easier when you go big. So,
Yeah, and
but
even
no, Jay, not been.
now that's a good point, man. Even because I was reading the one thing yesterday, just going back over it. So Gary Keller, a great author, great writer, but also a great businessman. And I'm sure if you watching this, you had to have heard of a Keller Williams. He's the founder or co-founder of that, I believe. But and his whole model, that's his whole principle. Just like many of the great entrepreneurs, they all say the same thing. Going bigger is not harder. It's actually easier. That's just the kind of point. It's just like, let me just break it down on a simple level. It's just like you could work all month cutting the grass for your 2 rental properties. Just and you got a mortgage on it at $1,000 a month. You got a tenant paying you, let's say $1,500 a month. After you pay the property management company, or even if you manage it yourself to keep all the bread, that's $500. On 2 properties, that's $1,000 in passive income. That's not considering this, that, and the third. If that tenant doesn't pay 1 month, that's not two. That goes from $2,000 in passive income to what? You in the hole? How much? You basically, it's a wash at that point. It's a wash at that point, or you in the hole $500. Y'all can check my math, but on a multifamily, and you own an apartment complex with 100 doors, 200 doors, if 30 of them don't pay you, you're not in the red. You're not, you know what I mean? You're not in the hole that month. And it just, to manage these properties, a lot of these things, you got far more capital and income from the asset itself to put aside a couple $100,000 when a water heater go out. That's nothing. Because we got so much, the income from all of these other properties take care of the water heater in unit 32B. See what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, principle is the bigger you go, or I think the idea is the bigger you go, the more difficult it will be. But principle is that the bigger you go, the more momentum you have. You know what I mean? So you can't really be stopped. But consider that, guys, when you're doing this. But Miss Tanya Jackson says, I'm considering doing DoorDash to put the money towards leads. Would that be something I should consider? I want to make the best moves. Well, Miss Tanya Jackson, I think we have an expert in the building, Mr. Richard Jackson. I wonder what his take would be on this, because definitely, and he is along with like Jade. It's like these people. I wonder what it's like from Jade's perspective, from Richard's perspective. They probably feel like we just taught them literal magic. They're like, man, I just bought these leads and boom, some deals. I got deals and contracts, stuff like that. Trust me. And then Richard still hasn't even seen all of the fruit. Richard got like 3 deals locked up, or he's close to it. Maybe like 2, and then we got 1 coming. It's just like, trust me. I mean, you'll see. But I think so. And then also too, not even just about buying PPL leads, but even if you wanted to buy a dialer or something like that, I think if you do like something for a side hustle where people take that side hustle and go to vacation with it, or that side hustle, buy some nicer shoes, take that side hustle, buy some leads with it, and you could change your life.
Yeah.
Richard.
No doubt, man. I think whatever you do, keep getting leads. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the biggest thing, man. Starting to realize, it's like, dude, you just got to get more leads. You know what I'm saying? You got to get more leads and chase them. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're chasing hard, keep buying more leads. You just got to chase. You know what I'm saying? You got to chase hard, chase hard, chase hard. and you'll get a deal. You just got to keep buying them and keep chasing them, keep buying them and keep chasing them. Either way, like Cordero said, it's cold calling, whether it's cold calling, whether it's whatever it is you're doing to get leads, you got to do what it takes to get leads. And you got to keep doing it, keep driving in more leads. And just driving in more leads is going to lead to more deals. You know what I'm saying? That's the key.
Yeah.
Drive in more leads, right? And it's going to create more deals. So the CEO says, Jay, what you getting into this month? You going PPL full time, no cold outreach. And Jay response is PPL full time. Property leads. My favorite so far, the CEO. So I said, at what point do you suggest telling your job bye-bye? I think it's different for different people. Every situation is going to be different. If I'm Cordero and I'm 20 years old and I get my first deal and it's a 20K
no
deal.
kids, no spouse.
Kids, nothing. You just, man, I get one deal. I don't care if it was just $2,000. I'm good. I'm gonna take that $2,000 and blow it on some more leads and eat noodles and tilapia for a month, and give me another deal. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends, man. It depends on your situation. My situation, I have wife, kids, all these people, and it's like, and once you get, and it's harder for people once they get a ship going in one direction, and it's been going in that direction for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. It's like, dude, you telling me to now turn this ship and go in a different direction. You know what I'm saying? That ship, as it keep going for all them years, getting bigger, heavier, and now it's like, hey, turn that thing in completely another direction. It's hard, man. You know what I'm saying? So, especially when you never done nothing like that, never seen anybody do anything like that. So it's different for different people, man. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think.
But I always.
Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think you should know that best, because this is a good question, Charlotte. It's like when I would watch real estate podcasts before, they would talk about risk tolerance. And like, it depends on your risk tolerance. I'm like, what do you mean risk tolerance? If this can make me money, I thought that was like that didn't make sense how people would actually factor that into whether they make a decision or not. It's like, if I could put $1 in a machine and I could get $100,000 out, I'm thinking no brainer. But what if I said, listen, you can put that dollar in the machine and 50-50, you either get $100,000 out or the machine explodes and it turns into a nuclear bomb and you can't run away from that fast enough. And I'm like, oh, blah, blah. No, you know what I mean? Somebody's going to consider like, okay, yeah, the risk is nice or the reward is nice, but the risk is too high. And I'm not that much of a daredevil and all that. So in the beginning, your risk tolerant, you got to assess at all levels. You got to assess your risk tolerance. How do I feel about this? If this goes south, can I handle that? Can I live with the outcome? That's really the question of how to assess your risk tolerance. And then here's an important thing that I also didn't realize back at that time was your risk tolerance grows, right? There was been a time like, oh my goodness, I got to put somebody under contract, and you be nervous. Like, what if I get them under contract and this don't happen or that don't happen? Or, Byron talks about all the time how he was going through every step. He's like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. All the way up until he got the check in his hand. I don't believe it. I don't believe that they ain't even gonna let me cash it. He cashed it. They ain't gonna let me, because that's his risk tolerance telling him like, I've done something that's out of my comfort zone. This is risky. This isn't real. Like, and so your mind, your stability is just like, wait, we're experiencing something new here. But as you get now, Byron will be like, man, lock him up. Go on and do it. So, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here thinking like, dang, like, I'd be like, wait, should we do that? He was like, yeah, we should do that. You know what I mean? Like, there are plenty of things like my risk tolerance is like, And so it grows. The more you feel confident, the more you have experience in this. And so the more, I would imagine, the more you get experience in this and being consistent in this, you discover consistent patterns. I think the real true answer would be is once you can establish some consistency in your business, and you need to have your numbers in order to do that. So that way it's not feast or famine, starve, success or failure. You know, okay, these are the numbers we need to hit. And if this goes south, we either need to increase these numbers, you can tweak it here. That's just my opinion. And I didn't take that advice in the beginning, by the way, just so you guys know. I jumped out on the deep end, but I think that would be a safe bet. But at the end of the day, it's on you guys to assess. Yeah. Am I ready?
Yeah, no doubt. That's what's up. We're putting county or software lists before the what?
He said we're pulling county or software lists before that. If not, and you started with smart. No, I don't think he was CEO. I don't think he was.
He asked Jade.
He's asking Jade.
I forgot he's still talking to Jade. I'm like,
y'all can't be having dialogue in the group chat. Y'all gotta talk to us. I'm saying y'all talking to each other.
So he pulling the county list and he pulling software list. He asked Jade, was he doing that?
Basically, did you do any of that before going into PPL? CEO, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what he's saying. And Jade, I'm pretty sure Jade didn't do any of that. Like he cold called with me for a little bit. He cold called with somebody a little bit.
Yeah.
But he, the PPL is where he's got most of his success.
He was on here, me and Cordero was talking about it. Man, you better know that Jade, if you talking about it, he finna go try to pull the trigger on it. Me and Cordero was in there just talking about it. I think Jade came on one day and just psyched himself out. He probably was just sitting there like, I'm finna go buy 30 leads.
Listening to
Cordero was like, calm down. Don't go buy 30 leads.
I was trying to say, look, not even don't do that, but like Byron said it best. I wasn't even just saying don't do that, but get with the right people is what Byron was saying. I was like, oh, I'm not just gonna tell anybody to just go do that, because at that point you blowing your money, you just throwing it away. You just throwing your money, you know what I mean? And so,
well, I think Cordero had already talked to Jay and understood what Jay was. And when Jay said that, Cordero was like, "Oh my god."
But Jay said, I was started off cold calling by myself. So Jay did do cold calling by himself before, but I was just like, I'm just speaking from my experience, not even just saying like, oh, Jay couldn't do it, but the CEO could, or so on and so forth. I'm just like, dude, this if you don't, all of the little stuff that we come on here and talk about, even from the small, minute details, like when a PPL lead come in, call them immediately. That was a learned response. There were times when we sit and try to set up where we would just have them come and schedule their own appointment or whatever, yada, yada, yada. And that helps, especially depending on your schedule. But you got to be able, to get them right away. But little details like that, like let's set the expectation. It's just like before we just tell somebody, yeah, for sure. That's like a trained Navy SEAL. Like if I ask a trained Navy SEAL, like, hey, should I get into a gunfight with somebody at the bar? He's like, yes, you should absolutely do that. And like he's forgetting, I don't have the training that you have. I don't have the knowledge or the know-how. I don't know how to put my gun on safety like you do, or take it off safety. I might mess up, click. You know what I'm saying? Or asking a UFC fighter, should I just go fight that guy? Oh yeah, man, just grapple him. I don't have wrestling training. See what I'm saying? And so ultimately it was just what we say all the time, but Byron was right anyway when he says get with the right people and then do it. But I think PPL is definitely the way to go. I do feel like sorcery, dude. I'm telling you, it can feel like that. But
that's entrepreneurship in general, though. I think PPL kind of take you through entrepreneurship in general. It's like you're not always going to be hidden. You're not always going to be, it's going to be up and down. It's not always going to be great. it's gonna be, it's gonna be a wild ride, right? But I think if you establish some processes and some procedures around it, I think you can make it more predictable, right? I think it can be more predictable as you grow and build a system around it. So I know a lot of people, you know, they complain about PPL this, PPL that. They get some leads and they don't get the deal, da 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 da. But you got to have the right strategies, and you got to have the hungry dog after the meat truck mentality. But if you can systematize the hungry dog after the meat truck mentality, then you really gonna be talking about something. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Speaking
that's
of
another
which,
man.
CEO asked a good question. Right there. He said, "Sell the game, TV, and kids." And
Sell it all. Get rid of everything for them leads, man. Can't spell deals without leads. Yep. Hey.
I love that, dude. I don't know where you got that or how you, but that is very true. You can't spell deals without leads.
Cold calling and do it. Okay. Agent outreach.
Outreach before CEO pulling standard list and trying to pre-comp manufacturer deals and use my plan D.
Plan D. That should have been plan A.
I don't think that was plan A. I think Jade, you still on plan A. You just have found ways to you just realize that it's more than one ways to get to it and accomplish it.
Yeah. One thing you're lucky to do, you're lucky that Cordero was willing to even talk to you, first of all. I don't know too many people out there that actually doing deals that actually would have talked to you and had like a real conversation. But let alone help you. It's like there's so many people out here. Like, dude, you can find jokers on the internet that done the same amount of deals as Cordero. They charge you $100 just to get on the phone for 30 minutes. Yeah. It's like, dude, what on earth is going on? It's like I just be checking some people's stuff out sometimes. Like, dude, somebody like Cordero, if they doing deals like Cordero, dude, they charge you $100 for 30 minutes. They charge at least minimum 50. And if Cordero charges Jay $50 for every 30 minutes, man, he have a lot of money right now, I think.
You know what? With that being said, now y'all want to talk to me, it's $50. $50 for 30, dude.
Oh man.
You want to talk to me? You want to hit me up? $50.
Just to book the call is $50. Whether you show up or not, the money already gone. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna charge you $50 up front. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, dude. Hey,
That's
you
crazy.
You just can't get on the phone with Cordero like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, some of these dudes out here ain't definitely not near your skill level. And you ain't getting on the phone with nobody like that. Nah, dude. You know. Yeah. But Charlotte said, I got a 30K deal right now. I'm out. No, he get one. He said that he'll quit.
Yeah, she said, how much when you quit your job? A 30K. Out of you ain't keep it P? Okay, bet. Stand on that. The next day, he ain't gonna go into work. Hey, Jaden, you were supposed to be here at 2 a.m. You ain't keep it P? Okay, bet. Stand on that. Jaden, right. Property leads seems good. How does Lead Zolo work? Not as good as property leads, but I mean, they get you the same lead.
It could,
but you pay.
It could. It could, but I would take property leads over them simply because you can get leads for $125. It's a numbers game. It really is a numbers game. Once you reach the same level of quality, at that point, it becomes a numbers game. And if you're paying, somebody said Lead Zolo, they got up to like $300 for their leads or something like that. In property leads, you can get it for 125. So the numbers kind of dictate where you should go because the quality is not far off. Even if you did property leads versus need to sell my house fast, the quality is not so far off. That's why I need to sell my house fast is still, competitive. Even in my eyes, I don't know, Cordero, I think he thinks the same thing. They're competitive because you could buy leads for $75. You know what I'm saying? And on property leads, you got to buy them for 125. So, you can buy more leads on need to sell my house fast. It's a numbers game, right? When the quality is somewhat close, it becomes a numbers game,
100%. And I'm still, and you can go back and see recordings. I've been an advocate for need to sell my house fast when Jay be like, man, I'm about to throw in the towel on them, or when Richard be like, man, they on that trash, not refunding for leads, and then boom, a new deal come in from need to sell my house fast. And again, and that's what I meant too. Byron makes a good point, Phil, is when I said not as good as property leads. When I say comparing it to Lead Zolo is because you can get the same quality wise. I feel like your same experience, Lead Zolo and property leads. I think they both better than need to sell my house fast, in my opinion. But you can bid on the property leads, so that allows you to be able to get more. And by bidding, I just mean you can pay lower than just one price. That even if, let's say it's even $200 per lead, $200 per lead on Lead Zolo is still not as good as $125 on property leads, which is still not as good as $75 on need to sell my house fast, which is still not as good as $20, $23 per lead on Facebook. You see what I did there? But so I just like the platform because I think you get quality leads, even the leads that don't amount to anything. These tend to be a certain type of person that you get to deal with on property leads, and to pay $125 for that, I think that's a better service. And so it is. Byron also made another good point for Mr. Gold Toilet himself. No, that's a crazy nickname.
Man, stop.
But it's just a simple fact. It's just about volume when it comes to leads. Quality leads. Getting quality leads. People who raise their hand and say it's just like any other business. It's just like if I had a lemonade stand, I love to make that example, I would need to talk to people who are thirsty. I would need to be talking to people who like lemonade, who want to drink it, who want something cool on a hot day. But people who I don't like lemonade, which I'm one of those people. I really don't like lemonade. I don't like tart, sour drinks. I don't really like sugar. I don't like nothing but water, honestly. But my point is, I wouldn't be a qualified lead. So talking to me really wouldn't do nothing for the little lemonade stand person. Likewise, if we're trying to buy houses or to wholesale houses or to flip houses or to find rentals, then people who don't want to sell their house at all, they're not quality leads. And people who don't have a house or don't own a house, like I'm talking about far end of the spectrum of people who don't fit what we're looking for, those aren't quality leads. The PPL services, they do a job with marketing. They're working on their ad campaigns. They're working on their scripts and how they reach the people, their SEOs, which is search engine optimization, meaning when I type in the name of Sell My House, what website gets pulled up first. They're working on all of that, and then they just feed us the leads. So that way we get quality leads, then that's where you need to be at. So but you need a lot of those, especially now in this market. You need a lot of quality leads. Back in 2020, 2021, when the market was going so crazy, you could go DoorDash, for example, like Ms. Jackson mentioned, and you could get you about, let's say $500. $500, you are good. $500, you could buy you a dialer. I think even what was it? Launch control was like $200 or $250 or something back then, wasn't it? But you can buy you a dialer and then buy you some leads with for $200, and then buy you some leads with the other $300, and then boom, you off to the races. You are legitimately off to the races. Now you might need $2,500 to buy you some leads, but that $2,500, you are off to the races. I'm telling you. But you got because you need $2,500 because you got to be able to buy a lot more, and that $2,500 on Leadzolo is gonna get you this amount. That $2,500 when you could pay $75 per lead is gonna get you this amount. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game for sure. But shout out to Nita, man. Shout out to Nita. What's up, Nita? Coming through. Nita been a day one for sure. But J Dub says the song's given, Mr. Get It Done. What's up, fellas? I'm getting in here late tonight. Shoot, we about to be late tonight, man. We finna have to jump off this thing soon, man. Would you say that stems from a poor mindset? I can't remember what you're talking about, Rich. But you right, Cordero. You are right.
He was talking about when I was translating basically what he said about Jay.
Oh, okay. If I go broke, I feel like I should just go harder. Hey, no doubt, man. Grant Cardone talking about being broke. It just push you, man. You know what I'm saying? It help. It does. You know what I'm saying? At least for the right people, I would guess. So, Cordero and Byron, do you have a goal of replacing yourself in your business and having it run on autopilot one day? Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, I think that's the goal of every business: to set it up where it actually runs on autopilot. You know, that like I think that's one of the biggest things. But one thing that we're kind of seeing, or I'm kind of seeing right now, is you really need to make good connections in order to be able to have people in your business to help it run on autopilot. That's one thing. And then in the times that we're in right now, there's so much adjusting. There's so much, trying to figure it out because things have changed. That, dude, we're just kind of getting used to this. You know what I'm saying? We just kind of getting used to this. It's like we got to figure it out. That's one thing I think people kind of mess up too when they first get in. It's like if you watch the McDonald's movie, and Cordero, I'm pretty sure he can break this down a million times better than me. But the guy the owner of the McDonald's, the Ray Kroc guy, he was in there. He went to the place and was making the burgers. If I'm not mistaken, he was in there. He wanted to see how it was made, what they were doing. It's like you need to be in the mailroom at some point. That's why Chick-fil-A, what they do, they get the owners to go and work. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, get in there, see what's being done. You got to figure your processes out. You got to figure out the system first. And when you can figure out your system and when you can put it together, then you're going to be able to show somebody else, or at least set it up to where, things will run the way that you need it to run effectively. Because a lot of people come in, they be like, maybe they even get their first deal. I need a VA, or before they get their first deal. Yeah, I got 2 VAs cold calling. It's like, you don't even know how to cold call. How you gonna get a VA to cold call? You don't even know how to put somebody on the contract. How you you have to master putting somebody on the contract. Like, I don't even know. I think right now, we mastered putting somebody on the contract. Like, our percent, like when we send a contract, the percentage of signed is way up. I remember being able to look at my system and see all these people who hadn't signed a contract keep popping up. They hadn't signed. Dude, I go in there, I can't find somebody who ain't signed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, all of it just signed. Everybody has signed because that process has been, it's sharp. You know what I'm saying? Now you can build a system around sharp processes that work. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest thing, man. Like I said, things are changing, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the best times in the world to be in real estate but well, it is being in real estate. But I'm just saying, you just can't like back in 2021. You know, you put together like I put together some good stuff. I was doing way less work then than I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point where when I really got it going, I wasn't doing nearly as much work as I'm doing right now. Like now, I gotta put in some work to get some stuff done. I gotta be looking at stuff, moving stuff around, making sure that this is doing this and this. Like I gotta make sure some stuff is happening, But it's like these times specifically, man. And I see a lot of people doing this. You know what I'm saying? You look at something, you look around. There's a lot of people having to get back in the mailroom. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I think that's important. But anyways, go ahead.
Those are really, I think, not even just good points, but principles. And we got Coretha Montgomery herself. I'm telling you, the gift they keep on giving, Coretha. I was like, man, thinking about. No, actually, it was this weekend. I was thinking about something that she had. Well, no, Coretha actually gives gifts in more than just one way. We got the Sunday call, and we was trying to get some information out of somebody. It wasn't until Coretha put her charm and magic on that person that we was all able to benefit from getting this information. Now, Coretha just knows how to get her ways. Okay, that's just plain and simple. So thank you, Coretha. But Byron brings up a good point, but these are also very, I think, principles. And for me in business or just in life, it's like there are so many variables that's always going to be changing. They're always going to be changing. But if you stick to the principles, it's like a compass. It's just like your road could be doing this. It might go that way. It might go that way, go over a hill, down in a valley, through a tunnel. It might go over a bridge, over some water. It might be shining, but north. If you're trying to go, if I'm going from Tennessee and I'm trying to get to where Jaden's at, I know at no point in time do I need to be heading in a long period east or west. I need to be going north at the end of the day. That's just that. You know what I mean? And so that's because that's a principle. That sometimes they even call it, metaphorically, they call it the North Star, the principles that you base it on. One of them is like massive action is the cure-all. Like I think that really does it. But one thing that you get, I feel like, is another principle from even doing a lot of action or massive action is that you learn, that you gain. The whole business isn't just about, and that's another misconception people have a lot because they don't understand this principle. From the beginning, you have this misconception that you think you look and you have a vision of yourself downrange, new person, new house, golden toilet, not a porcelain one. You know what I mean? You thinking of this life and you're thinking you're the same you, but new life. No, you got to go through stuff. You got to become a different you. Habits have to die off. You have to double down and strengthen some of your stronger characteristics, like the characteristics that have all of you guys watching this right now, as opposed to watching Love and Basketball, Hip Hop Wives of Atlanta Mobsters, watching all that, and you're watching something that's going to educate you and put you on the next level. That's a characteristic. But you might be devoting this time, this hour that we're with you today, whereas in the future, most of your time is going to be taken up. If you stay persistent to reach that goal that you're trying to reach, most of your time is going to be spent educating yourself, and you're going to be okay with that because you've evolved into that person. And so you build and you grow and you change. That's what gets you the lifestyle. It's not just having a lot. And so you go through that. Before I can ever think about automating the business, I need to think about strengthening the business to like a automatable, a scalable, if you would, standpoint. But that takes skill in and of itself. That takes skill, right? So I also too. I mean, I'm in this business because it's something that I'm semi-passionate about. It's something that I really like to do. It's something that I've committed. I've done this business when I wasn't making any money. So it's something I'm passionate about. So I think even when I do get to a place where it's like I can't get out of it, I just want to find something else that I'm that much dedicated. Because I heard a saying, I was born to work to my grave, but I wasn't born to be a slave. And I think that says something about the human character. It's just like I think we are meant to work, but it needs to be a more fulfilling work. And I think when you think about retiring, I don't think, when you, especially as you get good at this, the better you get at it, the less likely you're like, man, I want to get out of it. No, people like doing stuff that they're good at. And so the better you get at it, the more success, you just want to reach higher and higher heights, and newer and bigger levels. But it's not like at your 9 to 5 where you all feel miserable there, or like we've all felt miserable at our 9 to 5s at some point. And there are bad days in business, but at the same time, you can still be at peace on a bad day that I'm doing something that I really genuinely care about. So I think about those things when I ask myself, do I want to automate it? Yeah, I want to be able to automate the business, but that's just to make the business better. But I'm not doing this just because it's something that I want to leave. I'm doing it because it's something I have passion about. And then once I get to a point where I can automate it, I'll decide if I stay in it or if I want to sell it and move on to the next chapter in my life. But it's about being, growing to that point. It's not just about thinking, make money and leave.
Yeah, for sure. Tony said I have Deal Machine downloaded and already getting leads on property leads. You just got to make that money. You can't use all of the riches. Yeah, no doubt. You got to keep your head down too, though. I started learning about real estate, and it took me 8 years before I did anything. You know what I'm saying? 8 years, not 8 days, not 8 weeks, not 8 months, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Of just learning, trying to figure it out, trying to make moves, putting stuff under contract, and it falling out, not closing, failure after failure after failure after failure after failure, to the point where it's like, man, I don't even want to try to do no deals because I failed so many times. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, man, you just got to keep going. You just got to keep buying leads. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep going. Like I said, a lot of people think that you're going to get out here, you're going to be like, somebody just get out here and just start making money immediately. You could, but it also could take you years to get started. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta the biggest thing is committing though, committing to the fact that this is what you're gonna do, that you're gonna see it through, and that you're gonna do it. Like I said, the biggest thing is deciding that you ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? You need to decide that you're gonna do it, and then decide that I'm not gonna stop. I gotta figure it out. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up. You know what I'm saying? As long as you decide that this is what I want to do and decide that I'm not going to give up, boom. You know what I'm saying? The rest of it is all about the two things I talk about: finding good guidance and driving in leads. You know what I'm saying? Find somebody like Cordero who doing deals like Caretha. God bless you if you can get Caretha to talk to you. But if you can, find good guidance and drive in leads, it's a wrap. You're gonna be doing deals, no doubt. So
yeah, I think setting your intentions on being consistent, and it's not even about a certain amount of time or how long it's gonna take. You just like, if it take 20 years, okay, like. I'm not saying it's going to, but you got to be okay with that. You got to be there. But Caretha says persistent and consistent is a requirement that you must have to be successful in this business. In this business or anything in life, if you want to be a professional boxer, athlete, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, attorney, you don't think about last time you went to the doctor and you got a checkup. You might not have crossed your mind that very person, man or woman, who was doing making sure that you can live, that person had a hard time in med school and thought about quitting several times. That person might have been strapped for cash and stressed out about money at one point. I didn't have enough food to eat, but still had to show up to class. All of that to stay persistent across that stage to get to where you at. So it's about committing to be a professional and going pro in this, and just realizing that everything that we pay for in life that we appreciate, we value the guy who's there. Like, I'm just gonna give a small example. Like, when I was in like second grade, and this is just a small example. When I was in the second grade, there was this one kid. He really liked sharks. I don't know why. He really liked sharks. He knew everything that there was to know about a shark. This is just as random as it can be. We never studied sharks. Sharks. We even called him Shark Boy. He loved sharks. And then one day, out of the clear blue, I think the teacher did this on purpose. She gave us all this paper. It was like towards the end of the year, and it was a shark, and it had all of the different body parts of the shark, and we had to label it. And everybody in the class went to him. He was like the president at that point. Like, it was so much so that by the time I got to him, I was like the last person, because I tried to do it on my own. By the time I got to him, he was like, I know what you're here for. Like, imagine a second grader, a 7-year-old kid stressed out because people keep like but we valued his professional opinion. We valued his experience and his expertise. We valued him. Like, he became valuable, and he wasn't doing that. He just was passionate about sharks. He wasn't setting a time limit or a dollar amount or a return on his investment for the amount of time that he spent studying sharks or liking sharks. He just liked sharks, so much so that we all knew that. So when it came time, we all went to him. You see what I mean? And likewise with this business, you need to become professional, persistent, and consistent stuff. Just today, I had an ovation fell through that was a projected 47K spread. Oh man! Again, persistence and consistency. To reach this point, luckily I had a pipeline full of leads to keep it going. 1,000,000%. That will happen. That's one thing. Jade ain't seen that. Caretha, you just dusted your shoulders off, huh? Jay. Well, I mean, Jay has certainly experienced some setbacks, and that's one thing I can say about people like Jay. I feel like Jay's just a bullet, in the best way possible. Brushed it off and placed them in a follow-up drip campaign and keep going.
You know what this? You know what I think about when I think about Caretha, that loss right there. Caretha probably took that. You see them things where the person standing there and they got their face out like this right here, and then the person slapping them, boom. Caretha's in there, took that thing, boom, and then off that deal and just started yelling. She better go crazy and get some deals, man. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, she about to go crazy. It's like, that just make you go to another level, man. Make you go to another level, dude. I'm telling you.
that crazy the type. After you get your slap off, she do all that. You like, I quit. Look,
I'm telling you. Slap off. Like, dude, I guarantee you, she ready to go nuts. I guarantee you, she better go even crazier. It's like, some people
new shoes with that.
You are crazy, like, dude. Some people let stuff like that get to them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but other people, it's like they turn up. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to say this too. Now go ahead.
I remember losing like 20K deal, 30K deal. Remember I told you earlier, my first pay per lead deal should have been 100K deal. Dude, I made 20 off of it. The person who flipped it made 80 off of it. They didn't do nothing to the property. I had the ability to buy it. I called my people, hey, I want to buy this. They were cool. I was going to buy the property. But I was like, I need to wholesale some stuff. Like, I need to keep the ratio good. I need to wholesale some stuff. I need to keep some stuff. Wholesaled it. Made 20. They made 80. I was thinking, it could be a 100K deal. But then I was like, man, the house is messed up. And then I was like, man, this ain't worth as much as I thought it would be worth. But nope. sure enough, 100K was made. I could have made 100 grand on my very first need to sell my house fast lead. Crazy, dude. But hey,
I think
somebody like me, I was hurt. I was feeling hurt. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It slapped me, and I was like,
dude.
Oh man, I was hurt.
Y'all know Byron getting to it when his setbacks ain't really set. Everybody on here like, oh, you ain't make 100, but you made 20. Oh man, come on, cut it out. But I think what you should have done, still wholesaled it, just made 50. You know what I mean? 40. If you'd have made 40 and they made 60, it would have stung a little bit, like twice as less. Half as much, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
I take
my own fear held me back. That was my biggest thing. It's like my own fear held me. Nothing held me back but me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, man, I can't let that no more.
I had, and it's not just something you have or don't have, guys. That is like a muscle that you build. That ability to get slapped and bounce back from it. And so if you're not there right now and you in a place where you take an L and it sits you on the sidelines, don't get caught wrapped in a cycle of like depression and just like, dang, every time I take an L, it just sinks me. And then you start playing the victim role. Just remind yourself, okay, this is a part of it. And even if you got to sit, get your mind right and get back in the game and realize that this is something you can continue to build your understanding of. You know what I mean? You can build that beast mode muscle to where you take an L and you ready to bounce back. Some people take an L and they're ready to sit down. And so it comes over time. We had this one series. It was, I don't know, it was like 3 deals that we had or 2 deals that we had. No, 3 deals we had under contract, and all 3 of them in the same month, the seller sold their house to somebody else while we was under contract. We didn't file memorandum on the property, and all 3 of them did that. That one really, it was just a series. And sometimes too, it's not even just about taking one slap. Can you bounce back? It be the Mike Tyson combo. That's why I say the Mike Tyson treatment, because Mike Tyson really just threw one punch. It's like everything came with a combo. And so it's when you get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And then he can hit you for a hard one.
Wow. Nah, then he stepped in a place that you didn't know. He stepped in a different dimension. You like, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Bah! And then you just done for. Like, you don't know where he came from. And so that's what it be like. And it's like you get hit with so many things, but that really builds you. And that builds your character up. And honestly, you wouldn't want to just be you today. I just did my first deal, and we take you and set you at the top of a Fortune 500 company, and you got to deal with the type of setbacks. Like if you ever go watch the video where Elon Musk talk about how he dealt with the 3 SpaceX setbacks. I think it was 3, and then he launched on the 4th, or it was 2, and he launched on the 3rd, and actually was able to be successful. He looked back on that story. Watch, it's an interview where they asked him, "Did you think about quitting?" He was about to cry. He was about to cry and say, I don't ever give up. I don't ever quit, because that's different than, I was supposed to do 100K, but only did 20K. He probably lost billions of dollars every time the launch exploded. 1 billion. Get all of the resources again to do it again. 2 billion. Up in smoke in the matter of seconds. Spend months, maybe years to get back to where you was. Another explosion after the 2 that you just had, and then have the gall and the tenacity and the fuel back in your tank to go back from the ground level again, to convince people to invest money with you after you failed 3 times in front of the world, and do it again, and not just asking them to borrow a couple $100. Let me borrow some change. Can I get some billions? Or maybe he's investing his own billions. It hurts either way. And then he was successful on the 4th try. And the point, you don't want to be there. Like, you want to learn, take your L's at this level. So take it. It develops you. It grows you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Shoot, we've been on this thing an hour and 30 minutes. We've been
about that time.
Caretha said, Jay, I'm taking a course to learn it myself to generate leads and not have to pay per lead. No doubt. Hey, you know Caretha going next level, man. Caretha planning to take over the world next, man. We got to be careful. No, hey, Caretha going crazy, man. You already know she go high. She go high level on you, man. That's a good plan, though, for sure. No doubt. You already know. Shout out to our guy, man. Time, cash flow time. What's going on, man? But shoot, we finna go about this thing. We're gonna shout out everybody. Shout out to Charlotte for coming through. Shout out to Jade, man. Shout out to Rich. Who else we had come through this thing, man? We had Miss Jackson come through this thing. We appreciate you coming through, Miss Jackson. We had the CEO, the one and only, Mr. Pat, come through, man. Shout out to the CEO. Shout out to Mr. Phil Banks for coming through. Nita came through. Our guy J Dub came through. Of course, the big dog, Caretha. Caretha came through, came and shut this thing down. And shout out to Ty for coming through. And Mr. Get the Deal himself came through, man. Coach came through, man. Got his first, well, not his first deal. He got a deal under contract.
First PPA deal.
Caretha. We got 5 people to sign up for this first deal guaranteed. This is day, I guess, 8. Day 8. And we got somebody under contract. Boom. Let's go. So we got 1 down, 4 more to go, Caretha. We plan on going 5 for 5. Everybody getting a deal. You know what I'm saying? Everybody getting a deal. 90-day challenge. Everybody getting their first deal. Everybody getting their first deal.
Coach about to get his second deal too.
Oh yeah. Coach gonna have to get that second deal too. Yeah. But shoot, man, we finna get out of this thing. Shout out to all the people coming through on IG. Shout out to all the people that came through on Facebook, man. Oh man, Dwayne that came up in this thing, man. God dog, man. Hey, when Caretha come through, it always be some other big heavy hitter that come through with him. She don't come.
Bring them out. Hey, look, Dwayne. So Dwayne watching this. Look,
Dwayne put us back on something though, for real, because we had really had left that little left that stuff alone.
Dwayne came one Sunday and was like, "This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is how I do it. This." We got like 5 people on the contract to list it. Matter of fact, we back in business. As a matter of fact, we're just listing people. Dwayne came that one Sunday. I was listening. I said, "So you do what? You do this." Boom. I said that next day. I said, even if I'm trash at pitching it to sellers, I'm gonna just start pitching it now, and then I'll get better over time.
I think him coming through and telling us how he talk about it, it kind of gave us a better concept of how to pitch it and the way you pitch it to people. Like I think me listening to you pitch it, it's been like you can tell that you feel better about how to pitch it, and people, they go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Your own personal conviction is the best sales strategy ever. So I had to believe it. I had to be sold on it. Like when we did that one property, the first time we did it in Texas, and I watched the Sean Terry video, like the Real Estate Disruptors video, and I was like, let's go. I was sold. So that's why I sell to be sold. Once you get sold, you can sell anybody as long as you're sold. Any reasonable human being, you can sell them as long as you're sold. And so I had that conviction when Dwayne came in, the way Dwayne kind of put it, I was like, yeah, I can see myself being young Dwayne, you know what I'm saying? Really listing everything that come across my table. But I was like, yeah. And with the help of Byron, really, you know what really strengthened it? This last time talking with Caretha, it gets better. You got to learn and add stuff. I've been saying done for you. When did we talk about that? Last Sunday, Caretha? Done for you? I forgot. Last Sunday or maybe last week. Yeah, I've been saying that done for you. We got a person right now. It's just like, it's about pitching the service. As a servant, I had heard people say that. I'm like, why would they want it? I had zero conviction. You couldn't get me to pitch nothing to sell somebody on something I didn't believe in. After levels of this, and then Caretha came back after I heard Dwayne, and then on top of that, Caretha said how she's doing it. Dude, that's what I do.
Dude. And people don't understand, man. We got this group of people, man. A group of straight killers, man. You talking about Keithon, Caretha, Dwayne, Mark, Ty, Jake, the CEO, dude. Then you got Cordero, man. Oh man, we got some straight killers, man. In this mastermind group, man. So it's like, dude, we just keep building, man. We just keep building. And I tell Cordero a lot. It's like, yeah, I try to put together this group mainly for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm putting together this group mainly so that I can make sure that I stay, you know, where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? So I can know what's going on. And of course, so that everybody can kind of know what's going on and what people are doing and what's working for everybody. But I'm like, dude, I need it more than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, me personally, I feel like I need that more than anybody else. So, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through. They be coming through supporting too, man. Dwayne be coming through, Keithon be coming through, Caretha be coming through, Ty came through, CEO be coming through, man. The crew be coming through, man. So, man, I appreciate y'all, man. But shoot, we finna get up out of this thing, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through. We'll be back tomorrow. It's Monday. We got a Joker under contract. Let's do it again tomorrow, man. Let's go.
We could.
Don't get to sleep, man. We gotta wake up and put somebody under contract tomorrow. But until tomorrow, man, we'll tell y'all about the next deal we got under contract. So make sure you here to come check it out. We'll have somebody else under contract. So let go. We got an appointment 8 a.m. I mean 10 a.m. Make sure we reach out to that seller too to make sure that you know that she is there. And I'll make sure I reach out to the buyer.
Who?
Whitesburg. Man, with the trailer.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, make sure. You said that she don't live there, so she got to go there, right?
She said she live around the corner, though, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just make sure she there. I'll make sure my guy there. So.
Well, what happened to that Albany property? That one lady said she wasn't interested in a fire damage property.
Dude, she said the house was burnt so bad that she was telling the dude that she think the wind gonna blow the house down. She said that somebody probably maybe they might buy for 10 grand. She said that burned. She's like, it's burned. They ain't never burned down. That's what she said.
I need some pictures, man.
That's what I guarantee that why they won't give you no pictures. She said the wind blew hard enough, we're gonna blow that house down.
Hey, it almost did this past week. Wow.
Dude, that was
wow, they tried me, they played me.
Yeah, dude. She said maybe she'll talk to some other people that she know. Yeah, maybe they'll buy it for 10 grand, maybe.
I need some pictures, and they played me.
Said the house is so burned that if the wind blow hard, it might just blow it on down.
But we don't know. I mean, she's one person be saying so. We've had it before, where a buyer or an investor or a real estate agent. Oh, it's this, and then we go look at
somebody else over there tomorrow.
We got to, or I'm gonna call them and ask them to just send me pictures, point blank period. Get your guy Doug to come send me pictures. You knew she ain't had no hair. You knew she ain't had
exactly.
Come on, man.
But shoot, all right, man. But hey, we'll be back tomorrow, y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Peace out.
All right, y'all.